The moment the flight attendant tapped the black teen's shoulder and whispered, "Why are you filming?" That's when everything began to unravel. He hadn't even noticed her coming. Malik, 17. Headphones on, camera pointed at the window, recording clouds for his travel vlog, his first international trip alone. His mom had hugged him so tightly at the airport that the TSA agent smiled, but the whisper wasn't normal, it wasn't friendly, it carried accusation. Malik lowered his camera slowly. "I'm just filming the view," the flight attendant scanned him up and down as if every inch of him was a threat. Other passengers glanced over. A man in a suit frowned, a woman clutched her purse tighter. Malik felt their eyes like weight on his chest. She said, too loudly, "Passengers aren't allowed to film crew members. It's suspicious behavior." Suspicious. That word. His heart dropped. Malik tried to explain, but she cut him off. "I'll have security meet us on landing," and she walked away. The entire row heard it. The woman beside him, an older Asian grandma with silver hair, leaned close and whispered, "Don't be afraid, child." Her hand gently touched his arm, steadying him, but Malik felt his throat tighten. He wasn't doing anything. Why was he suddenly a threat? Minutes passed like hours. Every time the attendant walked by, she stared at him like he was hiding a bomb in his backpack. Malik noticed her smiling at other passengers, offering extra snacks, asking children about their trips. But when passing him, nothing but suspicion. The plane hit turbulence, and the cabin dimmed. Passengers slept, but Malik couldn't close his eyes. He replayed the moment again and again. What did I do wrong? Why me? Why always me? When the wheels touched down, a message echoed through the cabin. "Passengers, please stay seated for a brief security check." Malik's stomach twisted. His fear became real. Two airport security officers boarded the plane. The attendant greeted them and pointed toward Malik's seat before they even spoke. "It's him," she said. Passengers turned, whispering, judging. The officers approached. "Young man, can you come with us?" Malik looked around helplessly. The grandma beside him clutched his hand tightly. "He did nothing," she said. "He was filming clouds." But nobody listened. Malik stood, legs shaking, and followed them down the aisle. Eyes burned into him. Someone muttered, "I knew it." Another whispered, "Kids these days." The flight attendant stood with folded arms, satisfied, but at the front of the plane everything changed. A woman in a navy suit stepped inside. Sharp posture, gold badge, com power. She looked like someone who owned the room without trying. She walked directly to Malik. "You're Malik Johnson?" she asked. He nodded, confused. She turned to the security officers. "Release him now." The flight attendant blinked, stunned. "Ma'am, he was filming." Suspicious. The woman raised her hand sharply. "I didn't ask you." Passengers gasped. Malik froze. The woman continued, "My name is Director Camila Reyes, Airport Security Division." She faced the officers. "Why were you called to detain a teenager without reviewing any footage or evidence?" The officers stuttered. The flight attendant cut in. "He was pointing a camera at me. He made me uncomfortable." Director Reyes stared at her coldly. "Show me the video." Malik hesitated, then handed over his camera. Reyes watched the clouds, wings, seatbelt sign, nothing else. No crew, no passengers, no suspicious behavior. Reyes looked up. "He wasn't filming you." "I must have been mistaken." The flight attendant stammered. "No," Reyes corrected. "You weren't mistaken. You made an assumption." Passengers watched in silence. "And you escalated a situation based on that assumption," Reyes added. "You called security on a minor for doing nothing." The attendant tried to speak, but Reyes held up a hand again. "Enough." Reyes turned to the security officers. "Next time you're summoned, review footage first. Don't walk into a plane ready to criminalize someone without cause." Then she knelt slightly, so her eyes were level with Malik's. "You're safe." "I'm sorry this happened to you." Malik felt tears sting his eyes. He swallowed them back. He wasn't going to cry in front of everyone, no matter how much the fear still clung to him. Reyes stood, faced the attendant, and said, "Follow me. We need to talk about protocol and bias." When they walked off, passengers slowly rose. The grandma hugged Malik. A middle-aged woman apologized on behalf of people who should know better. Someone even muttered that they would email the airline, but Malik didn't want apologies. He wanted the humiliation erased. He wanted the fear gone. He stepped out into the airport, breathing in the cool air. It felt different, heavy, real. He looked at his camera, still recording. He whispered to himself, "One day, people are gonna hear this story. But this wasn't the end. Because what Malik didn't know was that someone on the plane had filmed the entire confrontation, a video already uploading, already spreading, already igniting a storm across social media. And by the time he reached baggage claim, his life was about to change in ways he never imagined. The moment Malik reached baggage claim, his phone buzzed non-stop. At first, he thought it was just his mom checking in, but when he unlocked the screen, he froze. Notifications, hundreds, mentions, tags, his name trending. A stranger's video titled "Teen Wrongly Accused on Flight, Watch the Truth" had already hit 200,000 views in under an hour. By the time his suitcase rolled out, it had crossed 500,000. Malik blinked at the screen, stunned. His face was in the thumbnail. The confrontation with the flight attendant was crystal clear. Her accusations, the humiliation. The moment director Reyes stepped in, someone had captured it all. Comments poured in. "This kid deserves justice. Racism in the skies. AGIN. We're tired. Protect this young man." Malik's throat tightened, not from fear this time but from something else. Validation, support, people believing him. His phone rang. "Baby, you landed?" his mom asked. He meant to say yes, but his voice cracked. She knew instantly. "What happened? Are you hurt?" And just like that, everything he'd been holding back finally spilled out. Not the whole story, just the fear. She didn't push for details. She just said, "I'm proud of you. Come home." When he hung up, Malik noticed a woman waving from near the exit. Director Reyes. She approached him slowly, professional but softer now. "I just spoke with the airline," she said. "They've placed the attendant on immediate leave pending investigation. They also want to speak with you privately, with legal representation." "I didn't want trouble for anyone," Malik whispered. "You didn't cause trouble," Reyes replied. "You exposed it." She handed him a card. "If you get online hate or pressure, call me. You're not alone in this." Before he could respond, a voice called gently from behind. "Excuse me, you're Malik, right?" A man in casual clothes, holding a press badge, stepped forward, not aggressive, just curious. "I'm with Horizon News. I'd like to tell your story on your terms." Malik hesitated. Cameras had terrified him only hours ago. Now the world wanted him to speak through them. He wasn't sure he was ready. But then an airport worker approached someone who had seen the viral clip playing on a passenger's phone. "I just want to say, what happened to you wasn't right," she said quietly. "My son's your age. Thank you for standing there and not giving up." Malik didn't feel like he'd stood strong. He felt like he'd survived, barely. But the way people looked at him now, not with suspicion, but with respect, felt no. He nodded to the reporter. "Maybe later, not today." The reporter respected that. "Whenever you're ready." Malik stepped outside into the cold evening air. Cameras flashed from a distance, not at him specifically, but at the scene in general. The airport looked different now, familiar yet changed. A black SUV pulled up. His uncle leaned out the window, smiling. "Come on, superstar, let's get you home." Malik climbed in. The city lights reflected on the window as they drove. His camera rested in his hands, the same one that had started the entire chain of events. He opened, yep, not to delete footage, not to hide, but to speak. He hit record. "I didn't ask for this to happen," he said quietly. "But now that it did, I just want people to understand how things really feel up here in moments like that." He didn't cry, he didn't rant, he didn't dramatize, he just told the truth. And when he finished, he saved the video. No upload yet, no publicity, just a moment recorded for himself, maybe for the world someday. By the time they reached home, the viral video had crossed 2.4 million views. People online had already named the incident the cloud filmer case. Lawyers reached out, activists reached out. Even the airline's CEO released a statement promising investigation and reform. But none of that mattered as Malik walked up the steps of his house and saw his mom waiting with open arms. She hugged him tight. "You're safe," she whispered. "That's all I care about." Later that night, lying in his bed, Malik scrolled through the messages, thousands of strangers defending him, supporting him, uplifting him. He never expected his first solo trip to end with the world knowing his name. He never expected to become a symbol. He never asked to be one. But as he closed his eyes, one thought settled deep inside him. Maybe this was never about filming clouds. Maybe this was about clearing them. And for the first time that day, he slept without fear.